And now, here's your host, Rod Harder, with another SMC Marketing Minute Profit Tip.
Well, hello and welcome back to a bonus episode, actually episode 129 of the Marketing You Can Do Right Now podcast. In addition to the 4-part series, I'm adding this little bonus here to go over what happens after the system goes into effect. What I've described in the first 4 parts has many benefits. It will completely change the way you advertise and market your business to get new clients. It will take you from having to chase prospects to a business that attracts them. A lead generation system is much more sophisticated. It's a better way to attract high-quality clients. On top of that, it has many other virtues. The entire system is automated. You're constantly building a database of people who have stepped forward, identified themselves, and raised their hand. At some level, they've told you that they're interested in what you're sharing with them. And you don't have to spend a lot of money on expensive TV or radio ads. Instead, you can run smaller, simpler ads in local, niched publications and neighborhood newsletters. As one of my old mentors used to say to me, find the parade and go stand in front of it. Now, if all this lead generation information is new to you, it is worth your time to go back and listen to these podcasts again. They're only a few minutes long and they're packed with a lot of valuable information. And truth is, you do have to hear it a few times. It would also be a good idea to do some research on the internet. Whatever industry you're in, you can hop on the internet and find a company, a business that is doing lead generation. Opt in for their information. See how they follow up with their clients. Pick any profession and you'll find somebody doing it. The fastest way to do this is to find a business that's already making it work for them. The next step in the follow-up process is the way that you communicate with your prospects once they've taken your bait. And you do that by following up with them with email and other forms of communication. The entire process starts with them responding to your invitation. They've given you their email address, and now they're on your side. In other words, they've asked to come into your home as your guest. At this point, you want to take good care of them, just like you would any guest that comes into your home. That makes sense, right? Part of making somebody feel welcome is to make them feel comfortable. Don't take too big of a step. Remember, just ask for one small thing at a time. As your list and sophistication grows, you can segment your list depending on the product or services that you offer. Make different offers to different guests. Regardless of who they are, they all get a sequence of multi-step follow-up. It's all designed to have them take that next step. And you don't want to skip any steps in the process. In some instances, that next step might be an invitation to come into your place of business or set up an appointment with you of some kind. Everything is designed to gently move your prospect one step at a time. Ideally, there should be a deadline for taking that next step and penalties for not doing so. If you have some particular offer or special or information you want to share that has a deadline, put it out there. The process is done by using an email autoresponder, and in many cases, they're free. I use Aweber. I pay $20 a month for mine, and it's worth every penny. And with your emails, just continue to offer good value. You may choose to send out an email course or a series of emails with advice. Just continue to develop and build trust. Now, at some point, as an option, you may ask for your prospects' full contact information. Maybe it's something that you want to mail to them. For those who provide this information, they're telling you they are serious and they should be segmented to a different list. These are very good warm leads. Send your emails with appropriate frequency so you're not viewed as a pest. Also, put your name or company name in the subject line of each email. That way your prospect will get familiar with seeing them and they won't view it as spam. The more expensive your product or service, the more time you'll need to take with your follow-up. Remember, big fish take a long time to reel in. This is especially true with expensive products because each potential client becomes even more important. These people are gold to you, so treat them with kid gloves. Now, I will say candidly that when a lot of people hear this information for the first time, they love the idea, but they keep thinking to themselves, how am I going to put all this together? And I like to think of the great business motivator Stephen Covey, who was known for his story about the woodcutter who was straining to saw down a tree. Do you remember that story? Young guy walks up on the guy cutting wood and he says, "What are you doing?" And the woodcutter says, "What are you, blind? I'm cutting down a tree." And the young man watching the guy says, "Hey, you look exhausted. Why don't you take a break? Stop and sharpen your saw." The woodcutter looks at the guy and says, "Hey, man, I don't have time to take a break." The young man says to the woodcutter, "If you would just stop and sharpen your saw, you could cut down the tree a lot faster." And the woodcutter says to the guy, "Hey, look, kid, I don't have time to sharpen the saw. Can't you see I'm busy?" My point is, don't be the woodcutter. Take time to do this right. If you need help, get it. But having a lead generation system is well worth your time to implement it. Unfortunately, most business owners want a fast fix. They want the silver bullet. A lead generation system is a complicated process. It does take some time. It's also the reason a lot of businesses will never have one. Perfect place for you to separate yourself from the crowd. Truth is, your competition is so lazy that if you walk down the street and told them step by step how to do it, they still wouldn't do it. From a work standpoint, you're transferring months and years of future cold call prospecting and virtually eliminating it. A lead generation system will stop you from having to ever make cold calls again. To complete your system, you can do one of two things. You can either work on it yourself, or you can seek outside help. Just make sure you seek the guidance of someone who is an expert in lead generation and direct response marketing. There are plenty of people out there who will tell you they're an expert. I urge you to ask for referrals and plenty of examples of their work before you hire anyone. I'm available on a limited basis to consult and coach you through the process. Also, depending on my schedule, I will take on an occasional project myself. And if you're in East Central Florida, from time to time I host an affordable half-day workshop on lead generation. The whole thing complete, soup to nuts. Well, you got a whole lot today, didn't you? Be sure to check out the other podcasts here. There are hundreds of hours of free marketing information. Cherry pick the subject you're interested in. Listen to it. I guarantee you it will help. Find what you like and take a listen. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here for today. In the meantime, happy marketing. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.